After everything we've given this season, it's all gone in a flash. After 3 back-to-back draws, Arsenal had work to do as they travelled to Manchester to face title rivals Man City. Hope was rising and the fans started to believe. Little did we know it was going to be bloody. We're back on the channel to break down what was an uninspiring performance and look at 5 things we learned from Man City 4, Arsenal 1. Yo guys, it's your boy T19, back with another video. This is not a video I want to be doing, but of course, please go on out there, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We are getting really close to 500 subscribers. And of course, if you'd like to follow your boy on the social media, the links will be down in the description below. Let's do this video. Yep, and the first thing on our agenda, we're not there yet. This season has been a season packed full of surprises, and Arsenal have been looking like the team to beat. But just like Arteta said in the past, we are only in phase 3 of the development process, and it's not difficult to see why. Man City have players who have competed on the biggest of stages and know what it means to win a title. The likes of Rodri, De Bruyne, Walker, playing in games of this magnitude is something they're used to. And for Arsenal, that has to be the next course of action. Get players who can perform at high pressure moments. The squad needs to be able to perform when it's crunch time. You look at the likes of Zinchenko and Jesus, the way they've elevated this Arsenal team. Arsenal need more players like that who are used to playing under high pressure situations. It was no surprise that when we brought on Jorginho and Trossard, Arsenal started to have not control. We didn't control this game at all, but it started to look less bloody because those players have played under these situations before. And while I think Arsenal are doing really well at the moment, the next course of action needs to be getting players who can perform in high pressure moments. And this summer is a perfect opportunity. With us being in the Champions League, it's a perfect opportunity for us to take another step in the right direction. Second thing I realized is that Arsenal have squad depth issues. This was always looming over our heads. Saliba and Tomiyasu get injured and all of a sudden Arsenal look a shambles. We do not look like our normal selves. You bring Rob Holding in. I'm sorry to everyone this might offend. Rob Holding is not good enough to play Premier League football for Arsenal. It's not only about build-up play. Obviously in build-up it's shambolic, it's disgraceful. Rob Holding might have an opportunity to help Arsenal start another attack. It doesn't happen. He would rather balloon the ball into the other half, return possession, and he kept doing it time and time again. Against Man City, it doesn't matter if you're Real Madrid, you're Barcelona, you're Bayern Munich. When you play Man City, you're not going to have a lot of the ball. And that's something you know going into the game. So when you have the ball, the last thing you want to do is sky it back to Man City where they have possession again and they knock you around, probably score another goal. Time and time again, not only against City, against Liverpool, against Southampton, Rob Holding gets the ball, Arsenal lose the ball. Not because he gives it away deliberately, he just doesn't calm down and rather clear the ball rather than build up again and help Arsenal sustain pressure. And that is something that Saliba has been able to do this season. He always finds a way to give himself a bit more time on the ball. He's always making the right decisions. Saliba clears the ball. He clears the ball a lot, but he knows when to clear and when to hold back. And for Arsenal, that is where we have issues. Rob Holding is not the caliber of Saliba. When you take a player out of the starting 11, there will be a drop-off. But it shouldn't be this much. Arsenal have squad depth issues, and there are more reasons why. Look at City. They brought Foden, Mahrez, Alvarez all off the bench. Meanwhile, we were bringing on Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah. You look at the likes of Saka and Martinelli. They've played way too many games this season, and it was very obvious. They weren't at their best. Normally against Man City, you do expect a drop-off, but this was obviously due to fatigue. They weren't pressing, they didn't have that electric nature we've seen that has driven Arsenal this season, and that's because they've played way too many minutes. Not enough just having players that can come in, I'm a right winger, it's not enough. You need to have players on the bench that can push the starting players for a spot. You look at Trossard now. If Jesus has a bad run of form, Trossard comes in and there's not that much of a drop-off. And that is what Arsenal need to do. I think that is phase 4. Just having 2 squads who are capable to compete at any level. Number 3, we've learned Arteta's mistakes. Mikel Arteta is my manager of the season. I think he's won the most manager of the month as well. But in this game, he had some mistakes. Rob Holding should not have started. He started. Why not switch the system up? Play a back 3. You've played a back 3 against Man City before. A back 3 that can shift into a back 5. That was an option. You could have also played Thomas Partey at right back. Ben White in centre back. Switch it up. You can't have the same system that hasn't worked, and it didn't work against Southampton. What makes you think it's going to work against Man City? I also think Leandro Trossard should have started instead of Granit Xhaka, and you saw why. Man City, it's not rocket science. Man City pressed the football a lot, so you need players who can turn in tight spaces. Xhaka can't do that. You had Leandro Trossard, and you saw it when he came on. Arsenal started playing. He got an assist. So that is something I think we really need to take a critical look at. Arteta needs to be able to rotate his team a lot more, try different things. I saw some comments after the game. Fair play, he wanted to respect the system, I understand that. But why not switch it up at half-time? It was glaring we needed to keep hold of the ball because Man City kept suffocating us. So why didn't Trossard come on at half-time? You look at the game at the Emirates Stadium, it was 1-1, and I think Arsenal were lucky for it to be 1-1. So Guardiola's team were on top. But at half-time, he switched the system up and they ended up beating us 3-1. So this is I know he's a young manager. You need experience to know stuff like this. But I'm not even a manager, and I know it's not that easy. But even I know that at half-time, we needed to switch it up. We needed something to catch Man City off guard. And it didn't come. They made it 3-0, and honestly, there were tears. Because it was like Arteta was watching and he almost gave up on the game. I think going into the future, if Arsenal are going to be a mega team, we need to be able to make early changes, switch the system up, and let's try and catch teams unawares. Arteta has been a little bit too nice. He needs to be more like Pep Guardiola. That sounds so ironic saying it, but you look at it. Walker had a bad run of games. He starts playing John Stones as an inverted fullback. That's what we need to do. Rob Holding isn't working. Take him out, switch up the system. It also gives the players that sense of, if I'm not performing, I'm going to be kicked out of the team. Not kicked out of the team, I'm going to be dropped. And when you know you're going to be dropped, you're going to give 100%. If you can't do 100% for 90 minutes, then you know you've got to improve. Arteta is being way too nice with these players. He needs to be a little bit more Pep Guardiola-esque. Number 4, Arsenal's lack of composure. In a title decider away from home, the last thing you want to do is start picking fights. Too many times today, Arsenal let their head drop and sort of accepted defeat. Time and time again, we kept giving the ball away. It was looking like Arsenal didn't know what to do. They sort of lost the game before the game even started. 5 minutes in, De Bruyne scores a wonderful goal. Pick yourselves up. That's the moment you need to see. We are in for a battering today. We need to pick it up. But what next happened? We started picking fights, meaningless stops in the game, and eventually it sort of looked like we gave up on the game. Man City came in. It was 2-0, and that, for me, we lost the game at half-time because there was no composure, and this game gave us a reality check. If we want to be one of the best teams in the world, composure has to be a non-negotiable. Number 5, and as much as it hurts me to say this, the title could be gone. It was in our hands. People will say we bottled it. I don't think we bottled it. I don't think you can bottle something when Man City are the ones chasing you down. But I will say this. 2 points clear. Man City do have 2 games in hand. 5 games to go. Do you still believe? Let me know down in the comments below. Could Arsenal do it? I'm not sure. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the video. So if you have enjoyed it, don't forget to drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, as we are getting closer to 500 subscribers. I'll see you guys in the next one.